all the preparations taking place for the biggest game of the season. Will Old Trafford be the theatre of dreams or the little shop of horrors for Chelsea today? Because like you said, the maths are very, very tight and a little bit complicated, so I'll go through that as well. Like you said, the two teams level on points, separated by just 2 goals in goal difference, which basically means if Manchester United beat Chelsea here today, Manchester City need to beat Aston Villa down the road in Birmingham by 3 goals or more to take the title. That is what it comes down to. These teams have been nipping away each other all season. It looked as though Manchester City had the advantage a couple of weeks ago, but conceded that 92nd minute goal, didn't they, against Arsenal to fall behind. It seems like it's an advantage to Chelsea, but Manchester United come here on a high after winning the FA Cup. So who's going to win the league today? Who knows? It's going to be nothing but dramatic, though.
I mean, we know that Emma Hayes' legacy, I mean, it's already secure, but what would a 5th straight WSL title mean for the outgoing Chelsea manager?
Yeah, her legacy is already intact, isn't it? She's won the WSL more than anyone else. She's already a WSL Hall of Fame coach. Obviously, look, she's been saying that she wants to leave with a mic drop moment. She was obviously hoping that was going to be the Champions League final. That obviously isn't going to be the case. But it just seemed apt, doesn't it, that if Emma Hayes is going to leave to go to the States, it should be with a trophy under her arm and gold around her neck. But obviously, that isn't necessarily guaranteed. She knows it's going to be a tough old slog today. It's going to be a shootout here at Old Trafford, but that's what Emma Hayes revels in. She revels in these big games. She revels in getting the most out of her players, and she knows she's going to have to go gung-ho maybe at times to try to get Chelsea over the line. She's been emotional in the build-up. She obviously had tears in her pre-match interview, tears in her pre-match news conference, but look, she knows she's well up for this today. She wants to walk off with the medal around her neck. She wants that more than anything, and the players want that for her as well. It is a huge motivating factor for Chelsea today.
Do you think then there is extra pressure on Chelsea? I mean, given you did say they missed out on winning the 3 other competitions, this is it.
I think it's the pressure they put on themselves, and they've been dominant in English football. Like you said, this would be their 5th consecutive WSL title, but it kind of feels like it means more this season because obviously they want to do it for Emma Hayes, and because obviously Manchester City have stepped up this season. They've steamrolled teams in previous seasons as well. It's gone down to the previous last 2 final days, but we all kind of knew Chelsea were going to win the league. They only needed a point going into the last couple of final days. Today, it's a tight title race. Chelsea want to prove they can win in a tough spot. They can go ahead and win the big game, continue to do that. They've been doing that for years. So I feel as though that's what they want to do. They want to go out here and prove they are still the big dogs as the other teams in England get better season on season. Chelsea want to prove they are the dominant force one more time under Emma Hayes.
Now, what would it mean for Manchester City, who haven't won the WSL title for 8 years? I mean, this would be a huge achievement, wouldn't it, if they came out on top today?
Yeah, it would be absolutely massive. I think Manchester City are fed up of being the bridesmaids in the WSL title race. They're one of the best funded. They've got some of the best facilities in the country, and yet they have fallen short. They've gone through a bit of a sort of rebuilding process. We saw senior players like Kira Walsh, Georgia Stanway, Ellen White, Jill Scott leave over the last couple of years. They've brought in new faces like Bunny Shaw and Jill Roord and the likes of those. They've kind of, it's always Manchester City 2.0. Under Gareth Taylor. This is what he's been building towards for the last few seasons. And despite that, he's been under pressure for the last couple of seasons as well. And it's all seemed to click. I think the problem is that result 2 weeks ago, when Manchester City looked as though they were going to come into the final day of the season with their destiny in their own hands, and now they aren't. But we're talking to Gareth Taylor this week. He is exceptionally confident in his team to go out there and put as many goals as possible past Aston Villa, because he knows he's got an exceptionally fluid and exceptionally potent attacking combo. Even though they don't have top scorer Bunny Shaw, they still have Lauren Hemp, Chloe Kelly and Mary Fowler, who have all been in excellent form this season. Manchester City have scored 4 or more goals in a game 10 times this season. He is backing his team to make that 11.
So let's just talk about United winning the FA Cup last weekend. Chelsea, they've got a short turnaround, haven't they, after their Tottenham game? Bit of a tougher proposition than City facing Villa then, in the other one.
Oh, Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I think that's the difficult thing, right? Manchester United have an awful record, against Chelsea. Just have a great record against Manchester United. Look, Manchester United's season was all about last weekend, finally getting a major trophy and bringing it back here. And the players will display that trophy at the end of the game during their lap of honour. Obviously, look, Manchester United already building for next season. Mark Skinner has got his new contract sorted. We know he's going to be the head coach for the next couple of years, and that means obviously they're going to look towards some players. It could be, remember, Mary Earp's final game as a Manchester United player. It could be Nikita Parris's final game as a Manchester United player. They've got some big decisions, so it kind of feels very much end of season for them, whereas obviously, look, it's Carla Ward's last game as Aston Villa head coach. She's already talked about there is no way she wants to park the bus, roll over, go out with a heavy defeat. She wants to have an all-out attacking game against Manchester City today. She's promised it could be a fun game at Villa Park today. So there are so many subplots to these two games today that mean you cannot take any result for granted. It's going to be epic. It's going to be dramatic. Both teams know they need to win, and they need to hope the other one leave their scoring boots in the changing room. It's a shootout in both games today, and I could not be more hyped.
Yeah, Anton, thank you for getting us hyped. Cheers for that.